I'm going to spend the next 7 days completing one of Roblox's most challenging events yet, where every Roblox player in the community is in a race to compete for one of Roblox's biggest grand prize of $1 million in the event Roblox The Hunt Mega Edition, where there are 25 different Roblox games, a lot of free rewards, and what makes this event so different than the others is the actual amount of effort actually put into it. From amazing cinematic shots to make the event cool, or completely making a new game to make the quest super amazing, or a battle between other players for a chance to win the grand prize. But the real race is to collect the most valuable item, which is the Mega Tokens. So I created 5 goals, which is to collect all 25 regular and Mega Tokens, try to collect all free prizes, try to get on the leaderboard, and get that $1 million. So, without further ado, let's begin with the event, starting on... To start off the event, we're going to start with Arsenal, where we have to collect the regular token and the first token of the event. So the objective here is to just escape the facility while eliminating some NPCs. Doesn't sound too bad, because really all you do is just eliminate some NPCs, some more, and a lot more. You do this for about 10 minutes or so, and it was actually pretty fun. I didn't get bored until this happened.
I like your cut.
You get placed in a jail cell and you just try to break out just by knocking out a guard. And then that's the quest for Arsenal, and it was actually pretty good. The next game is going to be Basketball Legends, where we have to find the second regular token in. So for this one, you're going to have to find a team and you have to go against an NPC, and the first team to get to 21 points wins the game. But knowing me, my team would have to carry.
Oh, bro!
We start off rough with the NPC scoring, but then we actually come back with me scoring the first one, and probably the only score I would get. After 5 minutes or so, we finally get our last score in, winning us the game and getting the second badge for the event, which wasn't too bad. The next game is Untitled Tag Game, where we would find the third regular token. For this one, you just have to get 350 cash, and all you have to do for the cash is to tag other people, and since everyone was trying to get the badge, it wasn't really that hard. So, after 5 minutes or so, I got the 350 cash and got the third badge for the event, which was also easy. The fourth game is Rivals, where we will get the fourth token. For this one, all you have to do is complete a 1v1 and eliminate 5 people in a 2v2, which doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, it actually doesn't sound too bad, because I kept eliminating the first guy many times, which meant I got the first win in the 1v1 match. Now we go to the 2v2 match, where we go against 2 players. But now I was going against people literally 100 times higher than me. But eventually we did win a game, with me going 13 eliminations and my other teammate not so much. And with that, getting the 4th token of the event. The next game was It Girl, where you had to find the 5th token. For this one, you literally just have to play the game and complete tiny quests. So when the round was about to finish, I just gave everyone 5 stars and completed all the tiny quests, granting me the token and then getting the 5th token of the event, which also wasn't too bad. Next up is going to be Drive World, where we have to find the 6th token. The goal is to complete some obbies while in a vehicle, but the problem is it's definitely kind of hard to control the vehicle, and it's gonna be easy to fall off and crash in parts like this, or get stuck in places like in this spot where you just couldn't move at all. But eventually you do manage to complete it, and it wasn't that bad. But the problem is you have to do it 4 times. So after about 20 minutes or so, I finally completed the final obby for this quest, granting myself the 6th token for the event. Next up is going to be Bayside High School, where we're going to get the 7th token. While starting the event, you're going to get a little cutscene where you, the player, are just playing Crossy Road, and during the cutscene, your phone will begin glitching. You are now basically inside your phone, and since you are basically playing Crossy Road, of course, you're going to have to be playing Crossy Road for this token. For changing purposes, the game is actually called Crossy Blocks, and now you are going to have to cross through the game and get the token at the very end. And if you have played Crossy Road, this is definitely going to be an easy game for you and not that hard of a quest. So after about a minute or so, I finally got to the end, granting myself the token, and that makes it to 7 tokens for the event so far. After you get the token, you will then get a little cutscene where you will just be going back to the real world and leaving Crossy Blocks. Going back to the hunt, I did get another item, which I'm probably never gonna use. The next game is gonna be Clip It, where we're gonna find the 8th token for the event. For this one, it's literally just scrolling, just like TikTok. It's not that difficult, but the problem is, it's going to take a long time. But eventually, I do get the 8th token, so let's move on. The next game is going to be Gunfight Infection, where we're going to find the 9th token for the event. For this one, you basically just have to shoot zombies, or if you are a zombie, you're going to have to attack the players for 300 points, which isn't that bad, but it does take a while because you really only get a few points every round. But eventually, after I eliminated this person, I did get the badge and getting myself to 9 tokens. Next up was Roblox Fish, where we're going to have to find the 10th token of the event. For this one, it's literally just do a simple quest like catching 10 fish and opening 2 bait crates. And the third quest was to talk to the Easter Bunny, who will give you a little cutscene to grab the token. Then you will head back to Moosewood, which you will have to talk to the NPC to grant yourself the actual badge, and that means now I have 10 tokens. Going back to the hunt, I did get another item, but again, I'm probably never going to use it ever. The next game was Blade League, where we're going to have to find the 11th token. For this one, it's literally just complete a 2v2 match and get 5 different goals. But the problem is, I've never played lots of Blade Ball. So for me, actually scoring a goal is going to be a lot more difficult than I thought. But eventually, I did complete the 2v2 match and all I needed was to score 1 more goal. So that's what I did. That's what I actually did, but I forgot to record it. But I did get the token. Next is going to be World Zero, where we're going to find the 12th token. For this one, it's literally just like Arsenal, where we have to do a little storyline where we just defeat knights and other creatures for the next 10 minutes until you actually get to the boss fight, which is going to take another 5 minutes, but it really wasn't that bad because all you had to do was just swing your sword and do your little power-ups, and after all of that time, you will then eventually defeat the boss, and then it'll tell you that the hunt token did reveal itself. So I grabbed the hunt token, and that is going to get me my 12th token for the event. Next up is going to be Untitled Boxing Game, which is going to be our 13th token. For this, you're just going to have to box 2 different people, which if you've really never played this game, it's going to be a little difficult for you. And since I had never played the game either, it's going to be a lot more difficult for me. So after completing a little cutscene, you're going to have to fight a person named Raiden, who is going to be your first opponent. So your goal is to basically just knock them out, and that's basically what I did. But since the developers want the token to be a little difficult to get, he's going to revive himself. But eventually, I do knock him out one last time until he revives himself one last time. He's definitely going to get a lot tougher for the 3rd phase, where he's going to become a lot more powerful, calling himself the Corrupted Raiden. And after a minute or 2, I finally got my last punch in, defeating him one last time. And the plot twist is, he doesn't have the token, so we're gonna have to fight another person named Raven, who then you're gonna have to defeat 3 different times, once again. She's definitely a much harder opponent to defeat since this is your 2nd opponent and it's not gonna be easy. So after I knock her out 1 time, she then gets revived again. I knock her out again, she gets down again, but then she uses her ultimate, killing me, which is not a good start. This cutscene of Raven literally just obliterating my health is absolutely insane, and I do find it pretty cool to see, but again, it's me dying, which is not good. Eventually, I do get revived, and punching Raven one last time, granting myself the 13th token for the event. And again, this was actually a pretty cool one. Next is going to be Hell's Kitchen, where we're going to have to find the 14th token. For this one, all you have to do is cook 5 dishes with Gordon Ramsay, which once again, it's literally just playing the game. So after chopping a lot of bread, blending a lot of the food, and assembling the plate, I finally got the first dish done. And you repeat that about 5 different times until you have to tell Gordon Ramsay about your success, and then he'll give you the 14th token for the event. Next up is going to be Tower Defense Simulator, where you're going to have to find the 15th token. This one does take a little while, but all you have to do is complete a tower defense match, and then you have to pick a loadout that's already starting for you. And I obviously chose the heavy loadouts. So basically, all you have to do is put some troops down for the next 20 waves, and it shouldn't be that difficult. So after about 5 minutes, it definitely was a breeze because it was a pretty easy mode, until you get to the core blocks boss, who is going to have 40,000 health. But with the amount of troops we have, his health is going to drain extremely fast. And after about 30 seconds, the boss is finally defeated, and then he'll do a little cutscene of him dying, and then you're gonna get the 15th token for the event. Next up is going to be a dusty trip, where you're gonna have to find the 16th token in the event. So this is literally just driving around for the next like 3,000 meters and defeat some bosses. The first boss is located in a wood place where you're gonna have to fight a woodworking zombie, which doesn't really take that long because he's gonna get stunned about 3 times, and then you'll be able to spam your weapon at him and he'll die pretty quickly. The second boss is a person mining in the volcano for some reason, and once again, you'll stun him 3 times and he'll basically knock himself out. Then finally the third boss is going to be a ice queen who's basically just like the first 2 bosses, but a little more difficult in my opinion. But again, after about 3 stuns, you'll then spam your weapon, and that's where I get the 16th token for the event. Next up is Natural Disaster Survival, where you will have to find the 17th token for the event. This game is literally just playing the game. All you have to do is play 3 games, which doesn't sound too bad, until I realized that this game actually still updates, and I never knew that this game actually had an avalanche disaster. And after realizing that this disaster exists, I get flung in the sky and immediately die. But I do win the first, second, and the third game, finally granting myself the token, and that's when I get the badge, where I'll have 17 tokens for this event. Next up is Pet Simulator 99, where we will have to find the 18th token. For this, all you have to do is complete a raid, which basically means make your pet eat coins for the next like 5 minutes. After walking for a bit and making your pet suffer and eat coins, you'll finally make it to the end of the raid, where you will get the 18th token for this event. And moving on, next game is going to be Eat the World, where you will have to find the 19th token. For this, all you have to do is feed the noob. Each piece of food you give to the noob, it will give you a specific amount of points, and the point number depends on how big the food is. And for example, I gave this noob a golden burger, and it gave me 100 points, which definitely boosted how fast I can get the token. And after about 15 minutes, I gave the noob the last piece of food, and I finally completed the quest for this game. The noob have lifted up his hand, showing the token, and now I already have 19 tokens for this event. The next game is going to be Car Crushers 2, where you're going to have to find the 20th token. For this one, it's literally just complete a series of quests, which shouldn't be too bad, but the thing is, it's going to take a while. With the first step is to buy thrusters for a specific vehicle class, then you're going to have to fall down this water slide 3 times, and then you're going to have to climb up this volcano, which takes about 10 whole minutes. And then finally, you're gonna slide down the orange slide, and then you're gonna go on the green ramp, fly in the air to 100 meters, and then you should be able to get the badge. And to be honest, this part was the only fun part for this quest, but now I already have the 20th token. The next game is gonna be 2-player chained obby, where you will get the 21st token. For this, you will have to pair up with someone, and then you and your partner just have to climb up a specific mountain, and at the very top, then you'll get the badge. This mountain climb definitely did take a while since we kept dying, but eventually, after about 10 minutes, we do make it to the very top. This game was also pretty much just playing the game, nothing really new, but it was still a pretty good quest for this event. So that's our 21st token. Next up is going to be Metro Life for the 22nd token of the event. For this, all you have to do is take 6 different pictures at 6 different locations, and that was pretty much it. It wasn't that difficult, and it wasn't that hard to do. This quest was also probably mediocre at best, but it was a nice easy quest to do, and after doing all the pictures, I finally got the 22nd token for this event. Next up is going to be Regretivator, which we will have to find the 23rd token for this event. For this, all you have to do is complete 10 different floors, which really doesn't take long. It just depends what type of floors you really get. For example, I got this 3008 type map. I also got a Spleef map. Then I also got a FNAF type map. But I did get some maps that did also kill me. And there was also this floor where you just have to do like a quick flood escape. And there was one where you just blow up. Eventually, I did complete it, being my 23rd token for the event. Next up was SpongeBob Tower Defense for the 24th token. For this, all you have to do is, it's kind of like Tower Defense Simulator, where you literally just play a tower defense match. But this time, you literally just put SpongeBob troops. This one didn't really take as long as the TDS one, but it still took around 10 to 15 minutes to do, and after that you would then have to fight a final boss at the very end, which would technically just be an enemy boss named Cyborg Plankton, which is super random. His health was going down really fast though, and we managed to get the badge for the 24th token. Now it was time for the final token for Pressure, which is going to be a little difficult. All you have to do is escape, but there's 40 different doors, and this is basically like doors, and if you never played the game, then this was probably a difficult challenge for you. Throughout the different doors, there were different people following you, like this guy, who literally just follows you as soon as you turn around, and if you turn around for too long, he will attack. There were also a few monsters that literally chase you around, and you could instantly die, which is annoying. But after a few attempted tries, I finally did get the final token of this event, escaping this pressure level, and finally gained a badge, getting my 25th token. But of course, the event doesn't end here, since we still need to collect the 25 mega tokens. As a community, we find the first one in SpongeBob Tower Defense, so that's where we're basically gonna go first. This is gonna definitely take a long journey. The first step here is to literally just go back to the event, and around the map there will be different dig sites that you can dig up, and will have a treasure chest, but some of them will have nothing in it until one dig site of treasure will have a map. And once you find that map, it'll tell you to go to the Flying Dutchman's ship. Once you get there, you will have to talk to the Flying Dutchman, who will then tell you to go to his quarters to find the Davy Jones locker map. So you will find this key, and then you can open the door, and you'll find another door that will lead you to a maze that you have to solve in order to get to that map. After solving the map, you will then get a little cutscene, which will tell you that you found the map. But of course, the mega tokens are not going to be this easy, since now you have to fight Fish Skeleton, so now you have to do another tower defense. This one takes a little longer with 20 different waves. You also start with a pretty better loadout. The first 5 minutes were pretty easy until you get to a little cutscene part that shows a new lane opening up, surprising me, which meant I had to save myself pretty quickly. And then I have to fight 2 planktons. So with a big panic, I just started placing random troops in the middle, trying to defend myself, and unfortunately I didn't get to kill him, but it didn't do that much of an impact. After reaching wave 20 though, you finally get one more cutscene telling you that you will have one final boss to do. And that person is
Smitty Werben Jaegerman Jensen.
Yeah. Fortunately, I did defeat the boss, which meant I finally completed this quest. I finally picked up the map from the quarters, and now you have to go to a cave with a blue jellyfish in it. You find this cave back in the hunt place again, and you are able to go inside. This will lead you to a big cave inside where you just have to follow the river until you get to this pad in the middle where you have to dance in front of this door, and once you do that, the door will open. But first, of course, it'll give you a little cutscene showing that you actually made it. Then you'll have to follow the little path, open Davy Jones' locker, and you'll get the first mega token of this event. Now, we can go back to the hunt to see what happens when you collect this mega token. Back at the hunt, the lobby will start giving you a cutscene, and it'll start lifting itself out of the ground, showing a teleporter that you can step on. This teleporter will lift you up out of the ground and will teleport you to the first zone of this event, named the Orb Zone. While traveling through, you will then realize that you need to find 2 other mega tokens to access the next part. For the next mega token then, as a community we find it in Untitled Tag Game, where we will find the second mega token. For the first step, you'll find this portal, and then once you go in it, it'll activate a cool little cutscene that I find probably the best cutscene in the entire event so far. After you go through the cutscene, you'll be teleported to a place called Cash Capital, who the villain is a person named Guy, who you'll need to stop. You are now placed into a cell where you'll need to control a drone to basically just scan other people. After I start flying the drones, I find a Doge in the cell, which is pretty sad because that's just kind of mean. With the drone, you'll basically have to smash through the glass in your cell, and then you'll start alerting the entire place. And now your goal is to basically stop the guy's plan. But first, you'll need to understand with this little cutscene.
Security! Wait! Get off of me! Will you calm down? What? Huh? Oh.
So yeah, she just tells you what you need to do to stop it, but who cares?
Peace.
Now we will have to press 2 different buttons that will shut down a coolant system. So you do an obby, you press the first button, you do another obby, and then you press the second one, which will activate an alarm system for the whole place. You'll then need to escape by going into a tram, and then you'll have to do a pretty simple puzzle that doesn't take too long, because all I did was just spam the buttons until I got it right, and it worked. Then you press the final button, which will turn off everything. But then a few seconds later, it will now tell you that you need to escape and find the mega token. And before the facility starts blowing up, you then get this little cutscene that I find amazing. And honestly, so far, this specific game really blows it out the park with the amazing cutscenes, visuals, and the quest itself. I just find this game perfect. After that insane cutscene, you now have the mega token, and basically, you just have to run. Starting off the run, you'll basically have to just avoid lasers for the next minute, and then just avoid the explosions going around you. You will then end the building running sequence by just jumping through the window and having this epic slow motion attack, which is absolutely amazing for this game, and I find it absolutely amazing. Then, for the next part, you'll then just have to run again and avoid these flying exploding drones that will just keep chasing you until you blow up. You'll have to zip line through, break windows, break more windows, get on top of cranes, and then you'll have to just run for your life and jump off this building with the mega token, and now you're basically done. For completing it, I did get the badge and I got the second mega token. This was definitely such an insane quest for just a simple game just by tagging people, and honestly just perfect. For the third mega token, we figured out that it's in pressure, so it's time for more jump scares. This time you have to find a code in the lobby that will go in a specific order, and you'll use this code on a specific keypad that is found inside the hunt itself. And once you put that code in, the door will open and you will grant yourself one of the secret items in the game called the decoder. Then you will use this decoder by finding 5 different radios that you will have to tune so you can hear it properly. And once you do, you'll use that decoder to decipher a specific symbol. You'll do this 5 times, and then you'll put that code in this door that's found in the basement at the end of this run. And once you open that door, you'll be able to go to the next part of the event. And now you have to go on this tram and activate it to get to your destination. You are now at a location named The Vault, where you have to collect 30 different mega token fragments while not dying from the same people you had to fight for the normal token in this event. It does definitely get much harder at the very end, and I did die a couple of times. But once you get the hang of it and get the 30 fragments, you will then be able to get the mega token with no monsters finally chasing you. This mega token definitely took a long time just because of the long process of just completing the map and finding radios, but eventually you do get the token, which means now I'm at the total of 3 total mega tokens, and the game actually does congratulate you for just beating the game, which is nice. Going back to the hunt, you are able to enter the zone where you have to solve a puzzle where you have to move these blue blocks to the middle where the green platforms are, which definitely took a while. But after about 200 moves, I finally did the puzzle and I was able to proceed to the next part of this event. Approaching the next door, you will get this little cutscene where you are able to open it, and inside you get this little prize of the UGC item where you can just claim it, but only if you have all the 3 mega tokens so far. And being honest, I'm probably not gonna wear this. At the end of the road, you see a teleporter where you are now lifted up and you have to go to the next zone called the block zone. Everyone is basically all cut up now, and now we just have to wait a whole day for the next part. Day 1 definitely took the longest because of just the amount of tokens, but it'll definitely get easier. So, on. It is day 2, which means the door should open, and now we should be able to proceed to the next part of the event. While I show off the animation of the door opening, I get interrupted by... While going through the block zone, I finally see that we need to find 4 mega tokens now. First game being 2-player chained obby, where we'll find the 4th mega token. This one was very annoying. All you had to do was really complete an obby, but the reason why it was annoying is just of this specific part where you just have to guess what button it is. And honestly, I just did not like that. But we eventually do get it. But wait. So yeah, the community couldn't figure out what the next mega token was, but we do eventually figure it out, which is Rivals, which is going to be our 5th mega token. For this one, first off, we have to start shooting at random targets in the practice range that will lead for a door opening. The second step was to just eliminate 15 players and they will drop something that you have to pick up. Then you have to talk to a chicken that will tell you which boss fight you want to do. So you just pick a random one. And knowing me, I picked the hardest one because the loadout for this one absolutely sucks. And if you don't know how to avoid rockets like me, then this one's just not for you. So after about 10 minutes of figuring out that I can't do this boss, I then move on to the next one where you have a better loadout, which was a sniper, revolver, a katana, and a med kit. So after about 10 to 15 minutes, I finally beat the boss, ending my suffering, and I finally get the mega token for this specific game. So that makes my counter up to 5 mega tokens. The next game is going to be Clip It, where we will find the 6th mega token. For this one, you just have to find golden cameras at different locations, and you have to wear specific accessories that will unlock you a new clue. So the second clue specifically leads you to a pizza place, and then you have to find a golden camera, equip a cheese hat, and it'll unlock you the next clue. Then you have to go to a spooky forest, wear a pink eye, and then touch the golden camera. Then the next place you have to go to a movie theater, and then you have to wear 2 noobs on your shoulder. Then you have to touch the golden camera. Finally, you have to go to a garden, wear a tea kettle on your head, and then you touch the golden camera, which will then give you the 6th mega token for this event. Next up is going to be World 0, where you will find the 7th mega token. For this, you have to find 3 different crystals that are located around World 1, with the green one on the mountain, the blue one around different oceans, and the pink one under a castle. And once you find the 3 crystals, you will then have to solve a puzzle in this secret room. So the next part of this quest is look at the symbols on the walls, and that will determine the crystal order for your code. And around the walls there will be different numbers that will add up to the number depending on your crystal. Once you do that, you'll be able to activate the portal, and once the portal is activated, you'll be led into a boss fight that takes quite a bit to do. But before you do that, you get this little cutscene showing that you actually did the code, and once you go in, you have to do the boss fight. The boss fight for me took around 10 minutes to do, but once you get the hang of his attacks, you will be able to do it pretty flawlessly. And the real lifesavers were basically the jetpacks because you could fly pretty fast and dodge his attacks. But once you defeat the boss, he will drop the mega token that you could be able to pick up. And now I got the badge, making my counter up to 7 mega tokens. Finally, we get back to the hunt where you'll be able to do the next puzzle, which really doesn't take that long. The puzzle basically is just pushing blocks around and collect different keys, and once you push the last block to its correct spot, you will then be able to successfully do the puzzle, and this will be able to unlock you the next zone. And of course, every time we complete a puzzle, we get a free EGC item that we can collect, and once I get it, I say to myself that I'm never going to use this thing ever. But of course, now it's time to go to the next zone, which is going to be called the Tile Zone. And now, I just have to take a break again because now we have to wait a day. So, without further ado, I'll see you on... The door's open. Now we could walk through, and as you can see, there's a lot of people going through this. So now, we have to collect 5 mega tokens, with the first one being in a Dusty Trip, where we have to collect the 8th mega token. For this, we just have to drive and find a mysterious mountain that will contain different battery parts that you have to form together to create a portal. Now, collecting all these batteries are going to take a bit of time. For us, it took about 10 minutes or so, but once we put them all together, it'll give us a little cutscene and the portal will open up. Once this portal opens up, a man will come out of the portal telling you that you need to come with them because it's, I guess, urgent. And once you go in, you'll find a doctor that's creating something to stop us. He then shows us that he created a person into a zombie, and now they are going to defeat us as a boss. This boss does have pretty cool attacks, like shooting lasers out of his head, shooting different laser bombs that spin around, or just plain zombies that we have to shoot. But once he's stunned about 3 times, you'll then be able to shoot him, but he gets to revive once more. And then we have to defeat him just like a normal boss once again. But this time, he shoots attacks that shoots multiple rockets in multiple places, shooting 3 lasers out of his head this time, and causing little shockwaves on the ground to kill us. We once again do kill him, and eventually we get the 8th mega token for this event. Next up is going to be Gunfight Infection, and let me just say, a lot of people hated this one. Because you have to spell out the word Mega Hunt by killing different people with that letter. And the problem is, you have to spell it out in less than 5 matches, and I was completely struggling. Starting a new round, however, I found my first zombie with the letter M, starting off pretty good. Then I found this other zombie that was actually friendly, and I was able to get the letter E, and this was possibly the only way to get the badge. On that same round, I found a zombie with the letter G. Then in round 2, I found a zombie with the letter A. Then the next round, I found a zombie with the letter H. A few seconds later, I found one with the letter U. And then I found one with the letter N. And finally, all I needed was just the letter T. And then I found a perfect player to just finally end this challenge. I finally got the 9th mega token for this event. Next is going to be Basketball Legends, and this is where I get the 10th mega token. For this one, it's literally super easy. Just make 3 shots in a row by doing a specific order of standing in the correct colors. For example, my colors were green and you had to make the shot, then I had to go to red and then make that shot too, and finally I had to go to blue. And once you make the 3rd shot, it would give you a cutscene where you have to battle another player, and the goal is to see who can get the most points in 60 seconds. So my strat was to get 3 pointers off the bat, and just do that literally for every score I do, because this would give me a pretty large advantage in getting me the most points. And once you learn the mechanics for this game, it becomes much easier. So after the minute passes by, I won the game, getting myself the 10th mega token. Next up is Metro Life, where you will find the 11th token. First up, you have to talk with the mayor, who will tell you that you need to find a time capsule. But first, you need to solve little clues. The first clue leads you to a fire station where you have to talk to an NPC who will tell you to cut down a tree branch off a tree. The second clue is to talk to a librarian at a school who will tell you to clean something up on the window outside. Then finally, the third clue will tell you to talk to a tourist at a hotel, which you will have to get a cat out of a tree. Once you complete those, you will get another map clue where you will have to find the safe in the middle of the map. Then once you do that, you will put a specific code in, you'll get the time capsule, and then you get the mega token, which is now 11 mega tokens. Next up is Hell's Kitchen, where you're gonna have to find the 12th mega token. Gordon Ramsay will give you side missions where you have to collect 4 recipes across the map, with one behind a volcano and another one being on the lobby, which wasn't too bad. Then you would have to create a perfect dish for the food critic, who is pretty strict. So I collected the ingredients from the fridge, then I started chopping up mushrooms, then I started mixing all the food together, I started cooking food in the oven, then I started chopping up some bread, and finally I started assembling the food, giving the dish to the food critic, and completing that quest. I then go to the basement where you would suddenly get trapped by the mysterious figure. But you don't stay there for too long since you could just break out pretty easily. And once you do, you will get a pretty quick cutscene that will let you know that the mysterious figure is still in the basement, and you can figure out that it was the food critic all along. Once you find out, he will lock himself back into the vault, and then you'll be able to get the mega token, which gets me up to 12 mega tokens in total. Now going back to the hunt, this is an absolute pain. I really hate top puzzles, and you can see why. But eventually I make it to zone 4, which is called the beam zone. But before we start this zone, we have to take a rest. So on now it's time for day 5, where we can go on for the next zone. And as you can tell, each zone is getting a lot more difficult, with this one needing 6 mega tokens. So let's begin with the first game being Arsenal, where we have to find the 13th mega token. For the first step, you're going to have to shoot a target in the ceiling. which is going to glitch your screen and tell you that you are not welcomed here. And after that, there's going to be valves on the walls where you're going to have to twist until they appear in the right direction as the door says. So once you do that, the door will open up where a laboratory will show up. In the lab, you have to create a helmet with the instructions that are posted. The first step is to put the helmet parts on the table where you'll be able to form them to become a one part. So after putting the final piece, you'll be able to form them together into one part, and then you'll be able to screw them until it's all ready. The second step is to put valves in a specific color order to create the specific potion you need for the helmet. Once you pick up the beaker, you'll take it to a cold storage where you will leave it for a few seconds. Once you leave the beaker for a few seconds, it will then turn to a light pink color. You will then put the potion inside of the helmet, and then once you've done that, the helmet will be put onto your head and something crazy will happen. You will now be teleported to a RPG game where you're basically playing from a top view perspective. And your goal is to basically just explore and what's going on with the Arsenal world. And after walking for a bit, you'll come across your first battle where you have to fight this guard. So how battling works is that you as a player will go first and attack. But once you're done, the enemy will attack them. You basically walk around the world for about 10 minutes or so and just battle different players and learn the mechanics of how it works. You will then get to a part where you will meet a new character named Rabble Rouser, and then they will join your team, becoming a 2-player team. So how battling works now is that both the players will go first, then the enemies will then go. And honestly, it's a very good battle mechanic. Then you're gonna have to go walk around for the next 10 minutes once again until you get to your next character, which is a very popular streamer. Basically, now you have 3 people on your team, but this time Ninja is able to hit air units, which is nice. While continuing walking, I did find this open house out of random, and in it was a lot of different chests, but also a mirror that you could see of yourself, but it was actually a boss, a hidden boss. This boss basically has the same attacks as you, and once you actually defeat him, you'll then learn a new move with the delinquent named the Goldify, which is basically just a powerful move that you can shoot at an opponent that does very heavy damage, which is sick. Eventually, we finally get to the final boss, which we have to fight a tank. This tank did take a while to defeat though, since it had a lot of health, but once we did our final attack, I managed to defeat it, finally finishing the storyline for this quest and getting ourselves the 13th Mega Token. Next up is Natural Disaster Survival for the 14th Mega Token. For this, we will have to talk to a noob at the starter island where he'll tell you that he wants to move again and he's just stuck there. And once you talk to him, you'll then go back to the lobby where you'll find a secret lab underground. And in this lab, you'll see that there are 4 different maps. With each map on here, there are different buttons, and each button represents a different disaster. For this quest, you'll have to talk with the noob on these specific maps, and the noob will give you a specific clue. For example, you can get a quest that says, is it hot or is it just me? Which obviously resembles fire. So after you do that, you will then see a green lit up on the machine, and then you can talk back with the noob, and he'll tell you that he can move again. And it's very happy to see that this noob gets his happy ending. But now it's time for... At least we did get the Mega Token. That makes it 14. Next up is going to be Eat the World, where we're going to have to find the 15th Mega Token. For this, you just have to find a hexagon around the map, which shouldn't be too bad. And then you'll have to play a little memory game with the triangles and clicking the right colors in the right order. And you really gotta pay attention because this does go on for quite a bit of time. But once you are finished, the triangles will disappear, and then you'll have to go to a cave underground where you have to break, and then you get a purple egg that you'll have to feed to the noob. And the problem is, I'm getting chased around by people who don't want me to get the Mega Token, which is just grieving and it's kind of annoying, and they really love making me suffer. Once I get to the noob though, I feed him the egg, and he starts freaking out because he doesn't like the egg, of course. He'll get very angry, and then he'll teleport you to a new game named 2012, where you basically just do a simple lobby, of course. But that simple lobby gets difficult because eggs will start spawning in, exploding the map piece by piece, which is not fun. And you'll have to go pretty quick because if you don't, then these eggs will completely destroy the map and you'll have nowhere else to go. I do get to this bridge where a checkpoint is, but the eggs start spawning in much faster and destroying the place much quicker. It does take a long time to get to the very top though, and there are a lot of times where I do struggle a lot. But I did manage to get the token, and unfortunately I didn't get to record it in time, but I did get the 15th one. Next game is going to be Car Crushers 2, where you have to get the 16th mega token. First thing, you need to collect a key in the Derby race location, then you'll need to teleport to the OG facility of Car Crushers. Here you'll find a secret door where you have to do different crushers, and it's pretty simple. For example, one of the crushers are for just taking a car down a big hole, and it's just pretty fun to do, but very simple. There's another one where you just have to take one down a stairwell, and it was pretty simple too. There was another one like a shredder where you had to destroy your own car, and I accidentally limited myself. And then for some reason, the facility decided to blow itself up. I really don't know why. The crushers did take a while though, but they were pretty fun to do. And once you get all 10 done, you will then be able to open the secret door and then get the mega token. This is now my 16th mega token for the event. Now it's time for Bladely for the 17th mega token for this event. Basically, you just have to find a code and then you have to enter this boss fight, which actually lasts pretty quick. You'll then have to do a cutscene before you actually fight the boss. This quest is definitely not one of my favorites since it's kinda easy to do. The boss is basically just a normal Blade League match but with an AI. It really isn't that special. And after a minute or two, I finally blasted the ball into the goal, getting myself the victory and getting the badge for the 17th mega token. Next up is going to be Bayside High School, where we get the 19th mega token. For this one, you basically just solve a lot of riddles. For the last riddle, you'll basically get a pizza and put it on top of a desk with a calculator on top, and this will activate a door outside. And now you have to do one last thing, and that is to fart on the pipe. And it's just so random. Then you'll be teleported to a crossy road again, which is a much harder version, but this time you'll have to fight a boss. For the boss, you'll have to collect bombs and then shoot it at the principal and then win the game. And once again, if you never played Crossy Road or any games like this is going to be a little difficult. And I got the first bomb and then eventually got the second bomb, the third, the fourth, and then I got the fifth, winning the game and getting the 18th mega token for this event. I initially thought that the quest for this game was going to be a little boring, but I actually found it very intriguing and one of the top ones. I also managed to get one of the first 500 badges in this one, meaning I'm on the leaderboard for 540th place, which is absolutely amazing. Now that the puzzle was done, I was able to grab the new UGC that was waiting for me, and this is probably the only UGC I might wear because it actually looks cool for the bag. But of course, now it was time to go to the final zone of this event, and that's going to be Zone 5, the Shape Zone, which is going to be the final part of this event. This of course is going to be definitely the hardest zone yet, and we have one day to prep ourselves. So, without further ado, I'll see you guys on. It is now time for the final day. After witnessing the door opening one last time, we finally get to start our journey of the final zone. And this zone's definitely my favorite because of this little drop, which is really funny. Now it is time to find our last mega token, which we have to find 7 of them this time. The first game is Regret Evader, where we will find the 19th mega token for this one. The first step is to press this button behind the TV, which wouldn't take long, and then it'll activate a dialogue telling you that you should have not pressed that and that you're not supposed to be there. Next, you'll have to go to 4 different floors and find 4 different pieces of paper, which shouldn't take long, and it's pretty easy to find. So I managed to claim the first one, the second one, then the third one, and finally the 4th one. Heading back to the lobby, you'll then have to figure out the clues that these papers have, and each clue will lead you to a floppy. So I collected the first one, the second one, the third one, and finally the 4th floppy. These floppies will then be turned into little mini games that you have to do. The first floppy will give you a mini game of timing, which shouldn't be too hard since it gives you a tutorial. You'll then do that about 10 times, which shouldn't take more than a minute. You'll then have the first one completed. For the second one, you'll basically just press the arrows as how it follows, and it shouldn't take more than a minute once again. Then you'll have the second one completed. The third one is basically just follow the numbers and where it was in order. Then you'll do it once again, and then you'll have the third one complete. The fourth one is basically the first and second one once again, and once you do that, you'll then have a specific code decrypted. You'll then go above the lobby into event, and you'll put that code inside this box, and the code comes from the floppies you completed just a minute ago. And once you've opened the box, you'll then get the mega token, and you can claim it, which will now be the 19th mega token for this event. Next up is going to be Tower Defense Simulator, where you'll find the 20th mega token. For this, you'll have to go to a code machine and type in the word Red Cliff Falls, which will activate a new boss for the original hunt token. You'll then basically do another tower defense match, so I chose the heavy loadout once again. This match does also take quite a lot of time since the difficulty is increased for this specific game mode. And once again, if you've never played Tower Defense Simulator, this is definitely going to be a lot difficult. So after about 10 minutes or so, we finally got to wave 20, which is going to release the final boss called Roblox Deathwalker. In the beginning, his health started to drain really fast, which is a good sign, which meant we were going to do pretty good. Until he decided to be a little annoying and stun literally every troop on the map. But eventually we did kill him, and he did a little death animation once again, and I did get the badge, claiming my 20th mega token for this event. Next up is Pet Simulator 99, which is also going to be quite annoying. For this one, you have to spell the word Gunter in a specific room, but the problem is, there is no indication telling you whether you did it right or wrong, so you're basically just guessing on what you're doing, which is why this quest was kind of difficult. So when you go into a house, you'll then see a pot of gold that tells you you're not lucky enough. So then right after, you're supposed to press on every single clover on the map, which takes about 10 minutes. So then once you do that, you press the pot of gold again, telling you that you're lucky enough, and then you get the badge. And then I get the 21st mega token. The 22nd token is in Drive World, and this one's kind of annoying. With your car, you're supposed to take this purple ball up this hill, which takes about 10 to 20 minutes just to even get it up here. And you also gotta be careful on which route you're taking it to. But once you get it in there, you will then have to do a specific code. And once again, I lost the recording file for this specific one, so I have to just improvise with Connor 3D's video. So let's all thank Connor 3D for the clutch up for this. The next mega token is an untitled boxing game where we have to find the 23rd. For this, you have to go to the very back of the lobby where you have to find a very difficult seeing rope, and then you have to climb up, and then you're gonna see a terminal where you have to hack. Then you have to play a mini game that takes a lot of concentration to do, where you have to match the color with the text, and I did fail quite a bit of times. But once you complete the mini game, you'll then get infinite stamina, where you have to purposely just run out the map until you get kicked out of the game. It's gonna sound crazy, but you just got fake kicked. It's just letting you know that you are doing it right. Then you have to do an invisible obby, which definitely is gonna take some time, so you have to plan out your steps carefully. Then after about 5 minutes or so, you make it to the next part of the quest where you have to hack another terminal. It's basically just the same minigame, so just do what you just did earlier, and then you'll be able to get infinite stamina once again. You'll use this stamina to run across these red walls, and with the last minute clutch on my end, I went to the purple portal, which then you'll be teleported to a abyss of space. And in front of you, you'll see the mega token, which you could just claim off the pedestal. So once you claim it, that'll be the... Never mind, there's one more step we gotta do, and that is to fight one more boss. For this one, it's basically knock him out 3 times and you win. So that's basically what I plan to do. I knocked him out once, then he gets rubbed again, I knocked him out twice, and then I knocked him out one last time. And now I actually claimed the 23rd mega token. The next game is It Girl, where we're gonna have to find the 24th mega token. For this one, you basically just do puzzles, and that's pretty much it. For the next 10 minutes, you just walk and find codes, and that's basically all you do. I mean, I kind of find it boring, but it's still enjoyable to play. Once you open the closet, you'll then grab 2 different items, one which is a bottle, and then a key card to open this door, which will lead you to an obby. This obby is also pretty easy, it takes about a minute or 2, and once you reach to the end, you'll then grab a piece of a weapon. Crafting your weapons together will then give you a blast rifle that you can shoot at the core boss at the very end, and then you have to save these robots that are stuck inside of tube. The boss isn't that hard, all you gotta do is shoot at it, and then that's it. That's pretty much it for this one. It's not that difficult, and the boss will basically just drop the mega token, and this is my 24th mega token. It is now time for one final game, being Roblox Fish, and that is the 25th Mega Token. For this, you have to talk to an NPC in Moosewood, who basically tells you that there's a Mega Token somewhere around. You will then go to Terrapin Island, where you will see a pretty easy puzzle to do. All you have to do is make the puzzles face forward until they light up green. And then you do that for about a minute or so, and it should open the door in front of you. And really quick, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because this video definitely took a while, of course. Once the door opens, you'll then be able to go inside, and then it'll activate a cutscene of you just entering a pretty small cave until you drop down, and that's where the actual action begins of you solving a maze. This maze is not an ordinary maze. This is actually a time-based maze. As you can see, there is a meter beside your avatar saying that you need to hurry. But once you make it to the end, the bar will disappear, and now you have to solve a pretty easy puzzle. The first step is to just collect 8 fish, which shouldn't be too bad, and then you have to complete an obby on the right side of the location. At the end of the obby, you'll see Cthulhu's head, and then you have to listen to a melody that sounds like this. You'll then use those notes to put the fish in order on the door, which will eventually activate the final cutscene of this event, which is just you as the player collecting the final Mega Token for this event. But there's one last thing, which is of course to talk to the NPC at Moosewood, who will give you the badge, and this is where our journey almost ends. I claimed the final badge, claiming all 25 tokens. Going back to the hunt, you can see that I have completed all of the badges for all the games, tokens and Mega Tokens. Now, approaching the final puzzle of this event, this is basically just putting the blocks into certain places. And then, after about 10 minutes or so, I finally put the last block, completing the final puzzle of this event, and teleporting to the last zone, the Mega Zone, where only the winners are able to approach this place. So, I finally claimed the last Mega Token UGC that's available, and at the very end of the zone, you'll see the actual final prize for this event, which you will claim the Datum of Resurgence.
Wow.
And of course, on the side, you will see the top 50 grand prize. And one by one, I started to claim every single item that was available for me in the event. And at the very end, I finally claimed everything. And as you can see, all the prizes are claimed. All the Mega Tokens and regular tokens are claimed. And for the purpose of this video, I'm going to purchase the gold version of the crown, named the Arcs of Resurgence. And after everything we've gone through in this video, I managed to complete only 4 of the goals that I put in the beginning of the video, and of course, I didn't get that $1 million. But the real important thing was that I had fun in this event, and I really hope Roblox does more events just like this one. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys very soon.